Radio Rahim here with Jack Reiss. If you don't know this man, then you don't know boxing. He's been in the ring on several legendary fights, one of the greatest referees we've had in the sport, and now you're wearing another hat, Jack. They're putting you next to the ring, and you're going to be judging these fights. Talk to me about, first of all, how that came about and what's it like?
Well, I appreciate the fact that you recognize me as a referee, but I've been judging as long as I've been reffing. And in California, you wear both hats if you're a referee. So I've got a long history on judging, and I've done a lot of world title bouts. And any assignment they give me, I'm happy to get. So judging, reffing, I just love being part of boxing.
Now, for this particular fight, you're going to be judging the Salido and Lomachenko fight. So it's going to be interesting. Being that Salido's a pro and Lomachenko's is only a second pro fight, a lot of people are expecting Orlando to use the kind of shady tactics that pros use, a little bit of low blow, a little bit of maybe, you know, behind the back shots, something on the hip, these kind of things. As a judge and having such a long history as a referee as well, how do you judge a fight like that? And when you're sitting there, do you think about things as a referee as well?
Absolutely, and let me just back up and tell you, Lomachenko's been around the block. He 2 gold medals, 400 amateur fights, plus he fought in the World Series of Boxing where these amateurs fought as pros. I don't know if you remember that. Those were the dirtiest fights I've ever refereed in my life, so I think he's going to be plenty used to this stuff. He's a tough, gritty kid, and the way we score it is if it was a damaging blow. If it's borderline, and the referee doesn't call it a low blow, it's a damaging blow, and we're gonna go with it.
Now, I know as a referee, so I won't talk about any particular bouts, but I know you being the third man in the ring, at the end of fights, you've got to have your own opinion about who won, which rounds, you know, who should come out the victor. Now, when you hear a judge or the judges announce their decision and you disagree with it, and now that you're sitting ringside being a judge, do you feel a greater responsibility to judge, you know, accurately?
Of course. When you're refereeing, there's a lot of distractions. I'm looking for safety of the fighters, and I'm not concentrating on, as you know, punch count and who's landing more damaging blows. I'm looking at safety and the condition of the fighter. The judge's responsibility is to totally concentrate for 3 complete minutes on who's landing, having a scale in your head, and who's ever got the advantage. That scale goes up and down accordingly. So it's 2 separate sets of responsibilities, and I take them both very seriously.
Now, lastly, Jack, that may have been a little convoluted question. So what I wanted to get at was what you said. Some fighters land a lot of shots, kind of like Brian Vera did against Chavez in the first one, and then other fighters land heavy shots but may not land at the same propensity as their opponent. Which do you score as the more effective punch, and who wins a round in a situation like that?
That's a great question. Okay, I'm going to make it very simple, but then I'll give you the background on the answer. If a round goes like that, where a guy is winning for 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the round, but he's landing arm punches, he's controlling the bout on effective aggression and as far as effective punches, because the other guy's not doing anything. But if the other guy lands some really heavy wood and staggers the guy, after the round, if this was a fight in the street, who would you rather be? The guy who got staggered or the guy who won pitter-patter for 230. So it all depends on the amount of damage that those hard punches do during that round. Obviously, if he almost drops him, the guy with the heavier punches is going to win the fight. But during the fight, I'm also thinking about how many minutes this guy is controlling that bout, because in lieu of damaging punches, you got to go with the effective aggressor. Does that make sense?
It does, and I appreciate the time.
I appreciate your opportunity to speak to you anytime.
Thanks, Jack.
All
it's
right,
a pleasure, man. Radio Rahim with legendary ref and judge Jack Reiss.
Thank you, guys.